Hi guys! Anybody that knows me knows that Disneyland is my jam. It is the place I go all the time. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the top 10 terms you need to know if you are visiting Disneyland in California. Now some of these terms don't just apply to Disneyland in California, but some of them do. Starting with number 1, which is DCA. DCA is an acronym. It stands for Disney's California Adventure. See, Disneyland in California has 2 parks, Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure, which is right across the Esplanade within walking distance, which is fabulous. But oftentimes when you're deciding to park hop, which we'll talk about in a second, you'll hear, let's go to DCA. And every time I say that, I have people who give me the blank look. So DCA stands for Disney's California Adventure. It's easier to say DCA than Disney's California Adventure. Number 2, ETicket. I am sure you've heard this term, ETicket, E-ticket ride. This stems from when Disneyland actually still required tickets to go on their rides. The faster rides, the more thrilling rides, they used to be called the E-ticket rides because you used to get so many A tickets and so many B tickets, and then you get one E-ticket. And the E-tickets were the more expensive ones. So an E-ticket ride basically just means that it is a more adventurous or exciting kind of ride. Fast Pass. This is awesome. If you do not know what a Fast Pass is, let me educate you, my friends. Fast Pass is a way to save your place in line so that you do not have to stand in line. Line says it's 120 minutes. Do you really want to stand in line for 2 hours? Now there are some rides, I'm not going to lie, totally worth the 2-hour wait. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm looking at you. But if you don't feel like standing in line, you can get a Fast Pass. Now, all you have to do is you walk up to the machine, you put your ticket in, you take your ticket out, and he hands you a little piece of paper ticket. And the piece of paper says return within this time frame, okay? Then they have a Fast Pass line for those times, and then they have the time posted up on a sign. And then when it's within your time slot, you can walk up, hand him your ticket, and cut the line. So it's almost like standing in line for that time frame. Max Pass. Max Pass is the new thing that they're trying out at Disneyland in place of Fast Pass. Obviously, paper tickets, that's kind of wasteful, so they're trying to find a way to make it easier. See, California has a lot of locals that visit. In fact, there's a lot of locals who will come every single day. It's hard to use the same system that they use at Walt Disney World, which is where you can actually plan your rides out up to a month in advance. You go on the internet or the app and you pick your rides, and then they're attached to your Magic Band. Can't really do that at Disneyland because you have a lot of locals that every day would be on there doing their Fast Passes. So because that seems a little unfair, they had to come up with a new system. Their new system is Max Pass, and it's $10 a day. Totally worth the $10, my friends. Let me tell you what, you can get your Fast Pass from your phone without actually having to go to the machines, buy the rides to get your Fast Pass. Okay, so it's a newer, updated system that you can do from your phone, from the app. Totally worth it. Plus you get your pictures, your photo pass for the day with it, which is just, it's totally worth it. I'm telling you, Max Pass is the way to go. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend you do. It is well worth the $10. Park Hopper. I told you we'd come back to this one. Park Hopper ticket means that you can visit more than one park during the course of the day. Now, the cheaper ticket is going to be the one park, 1 day pass, which means that you only can visit the one park 1 day. So if you're going to be there 3 days and you have a 3-day pass, you can visit Disneyland 1 day and DCA the next day and then Disneyland the 3rd day, if that's how you want to do it. Or you can get a Park Hopper pass, which means in the morning you could be at Disneyland, and then in the evening you can go to DCA, especially when they do things like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, right? They close the park at 7 p.m. If you decide to spend the day at Disneyland and the park closes at 7, but DCA is still open, you can just hop over to the other park and still enjoy yourself. So Park Hopper pass, that's what it is, that's what it means. Worth the money if you think you're going to visit more than one park in 1 day. Single rider. All the single riders. Okay, I don't own that, so I'm not going to go there. But single rider line. This is a great way to go for people who are either by themselves or they're in a group that they don't mind being split up and you don't want to stand in line the whole time. Single rider is where maybe you have like a group of people and there's 6 seats in the ride, but you only have 5 people in your group. That leaves an empty seat that they could be putting somebody on. So they'll call somebody over from the single rider line to fill that seat. It is well worth it. There's a lot of rides that do single rider. The Radiator Springs Racers in Cars Land does it. Matterhorn does it. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom does actually have single rider, but you have to go and ask if they have any tickets because they only have so many slots available for the single rider line in that one. If you're by yourself or your group doesn't mind being split up, single rider is definitely a great way to go. Disney bounding. All right, guys, this is awesome. Disney bounding is super duper fun, and I bet you have probably seen it in the park. Disney bounding is where you dress reminiscent of a Disney character. For example, I might wear a purple shirt and green pants, and I would be reminiscent of Ariel with her purple shell bra and her green tail. Or I could wear like a blue shirt and yellow pants and maybe a red bow, and I could be Snow White. Okay, do you get me? Now, Disney bounding is not cosplaying. It is not dressing up in a costume, which you can do, especially during the Halloween season when people are dressing up in costumes for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. But I have seen people call their costumes Disney bounding, but it is not the same thing. Disney bounding is dressing reminiscent, and cosplaying, costume playing, is dressing up in a costume. See, the reason Disney bounding came up is because adults aren't actually allowed to wear costumes in the park except for on special occasions. So in order to get around that, people started dressing similar. If you're interested more in Disney bounding, I would definitely check out Sarah Snitch and Leo Zombie. Really nice people. I have met them, vlogged with them, great people, fantastic Disney bounders. Look up their Instagram. Amazing stuff. Hidden Mickeys. This is a fun one. You know when you're standing in line and you're bored? Because, yeah, that happens. Especially if maybe your phone is dead because it's been searching for service all day and you forgot to bring your charger with you. Or it's at the lockers charging, because there are some lockers that have chargers in them, but you have to get there early to get them. Another story. If you are bored and standing in line, or the kids are like, I'm bored, Hidden Mickeys is what it's all about. Look for places. They have lots of places where they have hidden the 3 circles, the one big one and the 2 little circles, right? Mickey Mouse had. You can find them in all sorts of places. On the rides, you can find them in the decor, you can find them all over the place. There are websites, there are books if you feel the need to start looking them up yourself. Otherwise, just start looking. They are hidden everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You never know when a hidden Mickey is going to pop out at you. And they have some that are super hard to find and some that are really easy to find. So it's a really fun game to play when you're in the parks, when you have nothing better to do, if you've been on all the rides, or you just are not a ride person but you like to people watch, or you just want to explore the park. Hidden Mickeys are definitely the way to go. Plaid. All right, guys, the plaids. Here's the deal. If you see a plaid walking around, know that that group of people probably have a lot of money. Not always the case, but plaids are expensive. They're like a few $100s per hour. So usually celebrities will rent them, and people who want more of an insider's look in the park and they have the money to spare, they will hire a plaid. Plaid is like a tour guide, is a personalized tour guide that will take you around the park, give you a little extra magic, including often getting to the front of the lines, which is why a lot of celebrities will hire plaids, because then they do not have to stand in line and deal with the fans. They can just get on the ride, enjoy the park, and enjoy their day. So when you see a plaid, always look and see who's with them, because you never know who you might see. Rope drop. All right, this is a term that a lot of us use because rope drop means when the park opens. Sometimes the park will open before the actual opening. Let's say it says it's going to open at 8. They'll open up the front gates at 7 to allow a few people in, but there is a rope at the end of the walkway, at the end of Main Street, stopping people from going into the various sections of the park. It's called rope drop because they will drop the rope and allow people into the park. Now, when they do rope drop, they will require that you walk. Okay, do not run or there will be consequences. Also, they don't always necessarily drop the rope. Sometimes they will pick up the rope and walk it back with you. So the earlier you get there, the earlier you can be in line, the sooner you can be towards the front, the sooner you can get to whatever ride it is that you're heading towards. Personally, one of my favorite things to do is run over, get a fast pass for Space Mountain, and then go over and do like Indiana Jones, because those are 2 rides that often have very long lines. Then you can just get them done at the beginning of the day. And one more for you folks. I have a bonus one for you, and this one is for the parents. It's called Parent Swap. Let's say there's a ride like Splash Mountain that you and your significant other and maybe your older child want to ride, but you have a very young child with you who is not meeting the height requirement. They can't ride that ride. Guess what? There's this thing and it's called Parent Swap. It is fantastic and perfect for you. All you have to do is stand in line, get to the front of the line, say, we need to do a parent swap because this one can't go on the ride. They will give you a ticket. One parent can go on the ride with the kid, and the other parent waits with the younger one. Then, at the end, you swap. You don't have to stand in line again, and the other person gets to go experience the ride. Totally worth it. Excellent way to go about things, especially if you're traveling with young children. There you go, everybody. Top 10 terms you should know before visiting Disneyland. That way, you definitely won't look like a newbie. Hope you guys are having a great week. I will see you next week with a brand new video, and it's going to be awesome.